A federal appeals court declined to block the newly drawn North Carolina Senate map from taking effect. This after two voters argue the map diluted black voting power in northeastern North Carolina. The lawsuit was filed by two black voters who live in Senate District 2 shortly after the Republican-controlled General Assembly passed new election maps into law last October. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes joins us now. And Khalif, we've seen this type of thing over the years when it comes to changing the voter maps. And this also, is it really going to impact the voter turnout when it comes November, because this is about suppression?
It is clearly about voter suppression. If you're in the state of North Carolina, probably for the last 20 years, we have been on the map on the nationwide side in terms of voter suppression or allegations of maps being redrawn in a way that would have the effect, or the impact, I should say, both, of attempting to suppress black voters. And so the thing that I think is so interesting with these cases, specifically this one, if you look at what the district court judge said, he said that there is no language in the Second Amendment in Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, I should say, that even gives them a right to bring this type of claim, which was maybe one of the first time I've ever heard any judge make that argument. And then he mentioned something called the Purcell Act, which talks about not making decisions when it's so close to an election because it would create confusion. The court here echoed the confusion part, but they didn't really touch on his underlying argument of that there's no language that even says that. I can only point to our Supreme Court. They said that it's important to ensure that you do not dilute the distribution of minority voters into a district in a way that it dilutes their voting power. Mm-hmm. That's our Supreme Court saying that.
Right, and this is something that has to be asked over the last few years. Normally we would never ask this, but on the judges who made this type of decision, where were they on the spectrum of political?
That's the part when I looked at it, and it's crazy that I had to go there. I totally believe as a practicing attorney that we're not supposed to be thinking about, Republican judges or Democratic judges, but I instantly went there. All three were Republican. The two that wrote the opinion, they were Republican, and the guy that wrote the dissent was a Republican. And his dissent, he wrote a scathing dissent. He said, we can't sit on our hand and not do what we're supposed to do just because we're close to the election. And because we haven't even gave an argument to figure out if this is something that should be done or shouldn't be done, we've done a disservice to these people that brought this claim. His opinion, his dissent was very, very fiery.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to have to see what happens on November come then, if the black voter turnout is going to be suppressed or not because of something like this. All right, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes, thanks.